Welcome to the Ericzone podcast. Today I have Marielle Rifi with me. We're going to talk about Lebanon. And do you want to introduce yourself, please? That would help me.
Well, yes. Like you said, I'm Marielle Rifi. Hello, everyone. No,
that's great. Go on.
I'm Marielle Rifi, and I want to say hello for all my friends. This is my first time as an adult on camera. This is so much fun. I'm Marielle. I came to Quebec, to Canada 5 years ago, and I'm very lucky to be here, surrounded by everybody who loves me, by my friends. And I'm studying again after completing my master's degree in education in Lebanon. I'm studying human resources management at McGill University.
And thank you for being here. Thank you. And you were the first person that I contacted on LinkedIn, yes. And we had a phone call. We talked, and you were the first one that I talked the idea of having a series of Lebanon podcasts that discuss Lebanon. So this podcast was suggested by a friend of mine on Facebook, Suzanne Haber, and I wanted to thank her. And also, if you want to have a look at the other podcasts that I've done, there's one with Dania Fawaz, which is episode 25, I believe. There's one with Reina Halab and one with Tarek Chitila. So go have a look at those other podcasts. So today's podcast is a little bit strange because there's an event that just happened right now, and as we were about to record, so maybe we should have a look at the
news.
The news a little bit. I know it might be a strange podcast today, but we'll be having a look at the news to try to keep tabs on what's going on. What is that? That's MTV? What is MTV? That's the Lebanon television?
It's a station. It's a Lebanese station.
Okay. Is it the same issue here? Like here, media belongs to like these elites of like people that own a lot of money. Who owns MTV? Do you know?
It's a Christian party.
It's a Christian.
Yes.
It's the Christian TV.
It's a Christian, of course. It supports the March 14 alliance that is against Hezbollah, and I think the other one is March 8 alliance. It's another party.
So they own MTV?
Yes. It's known to be for the Al-Mour family. Okay. And of course, Al-Mour family has roots, political roots in Lebanon.
It seems to be a recurrent theme where there's like individuals with a lot of money that eventually have the ability to purchase big media, and they use those medias to filter out information they don't agree with, and they just push this quote-unquote propaganda so that the people that watch TV or watch that information, they only receive specific kind of information, which in turn will not warp their minds, but will condition them to understand only one side of the information that's given out there. And yes, so as we were supposed to be recording a podcast, there seems to be an event of importance going on in Lebanon, Beirut, more specifically, the explosion of it's a hydro facility?
Well, we don't know exactly what has happened. It was on the port of Beirut. The explosion happened on the port. And apparently there were 2 explosions.
Really?
So no confirmed news about what happened, what is the explosion is all about. The party who adopted this explosion, was it accidental or made on purpose? But we don't know anything yet. It's been like how many hours? Like 1 hour, 2
Probably
hours?
Probably an hour and a half. Like right now, what time is it? It's 1:20 Eastern time. Canada, Montreal.
Yeah. But it's a very big explosion. I mean, the casualties, people who lost their lives, we don't know. They did not really say about death. But
the death toll, yeah.
Yes, but the hospitals are asking for blood donations. You know, I heard from my friends that one hospital was also destroyed, and they are trying to remove people from it to other hospitals.
Really?
They are looking for capacities all over the area over there. So it's a disaster, actually. You know,
yeah.
It's Beirut. It's the capital of Lebanon. It's destroyed. Some people said well, my friends in Cyprus said that they heard the explosion in Cyprus. My husband was talking to his friend over the phone. He's in Beirut, and he said, I heard the explosion over the phone.
My goodness.
He heard it. It's a big thing that has happened, and whoever did it, they hit innocent people.
Yes. Well, currently, with the information that we have, obviously this podcast is going to be sent out there on the web a few hours after, if not days. So we're not live right now, obviously, but currently we don't know if it's an attack or if it's an explosion that is due to maintenance issues at the hydroelectric place in question. But obviously podcast is going to be sent out there after the information will be available. So we're not a live media here.
Yeah.
I was just hoping and happy to meet you today. And Marielle, thank you so much for being here. And it's a little bit a strange format that we're going to have today of discussion. But inevitably, we're going to be looking probably to the right or to your left and looking at the TV screen a lot. So, but I'm sure we'll be able to perhaps have a conversation as quaint and normal as possible, considering what's going on. It's it's shocking because the economy is not going well in Lebanon, and it's a struggle currently.
Eric, nothing is going on well in Lebanon. The pandemic now, the COVID-19 thing has came back, has a big comeback. Now people are dying in hospitals. Young people are dying. Yesterday or before yesterday, we heard about a nurse who left us in peace because of COVID-19. Other young people around 22 years old. Hospitals are, stocked all over again. They, economically, now the dollar issue, the situation, the black market, people are not getting dollars anymore. People lost their money at the banks. I don't know if I can say lost their money, but the money is stuck at the banks. People cannot remove their money. They cannot have their money back. Imagine, put yourself in their position. You have whatever amount that you had in the bank. You feel that you have a little bit of savings. Whatever happened to you, you're safe at. You have money to get away from a particular situation. Now you cannot, because you can't have your own money. Like my brother, for example, he was supposed to pay the university here so he could come and join Institut Grasset for a diploma. Yeah. But then he couldn't pay the university. His money was stuck. People's future depends on the economic situation, in Lebanon.
And this is just going to make it worse.
It is. It's scary, actually. My friend was sending a voice message that she took her kids to, the bathroom. She put them there, and kids like 5 years old. What could you tell them? It's fireworks. Huge fireworks. Just stay in this corner. We don't want you to hear them, because it's scary.
Yeah, it is at that point, because you don't know if there's an attack, if it's a terrorist attack, if it's a bombardment from whatever military strike, but currently, yeah.
Well, I'm Lebanese. I've lived my whole life in Lebanon, and I cannot be surprised if it's a terrorist attack, if it's a mistake that happened, or everything to me is expected.
Yeah.
Also, you were talking about the political parties who have money, they can control the media. So this is the nature of Lebanon. We have, I don't know how many stations in Lebanon, like MTV belongs to a Christian party, Al-Manar belongs to a Shiite party. We have Future TV belongs to the Sunni party. We have a New TV also that belongs to whatever party she is okay with at the moment. And then if she have a chicane with this person, then she goes to another person. We don't know exactly to whom. We know Khayat is the owner, but we don't know
what his allegiance is.
Yeah, exactly. It changes all the time. So, if I see MTV today, I will follow what they say, and I will believe what they say. But if my husband watches Future TV, for example, he will believe what Future TV will say, and every side, everyone will pick their sides.
Yeah, exactly. Media has such an unbelievable influence and a responsibility, and you hear horror stories of journalists that are killed. Right now I'm thinking about like South America. There's a lot of activists or journalists that are killed over there. There's a lot of journalists across the world that are being killed when they are too aggressive in revealing certain important news, and that's something that is a recurrent theme that media has an unbelievable responsibility to divulge the right information, the true information,
yes.
the real facts, but it's a dangerous job. It's such a dangerous job to be in the news.
It should have been a decent job,
because you're being paid. You're being paid by this corporate elite to be in front of the camera. So if you're not going to say what that elite or the company wants, you're out.
Exactly.
You're going to be tossed. So there's no integrity. There's no insurance of integrity in the media.
Well, for example, in Lebanon, I'm talking about Lebanon because of the current situation, and I come from that country. We know every journalist, it belongs to whom? Who gets paid? To talk badly about the other party, or to clarify, or to put roses around one party. It's we know them, so you can't really believe. You have to read between the lines. And if there are some journalists that speaks the truth, or not the truth, if I may say, they do their own analysis.
Yes.
And they speak with no bias, very few, and they are not heard.
Yeah, how can you face the huge media that have so much money for commercials to promote that channel, and just the propagation of that information? It has access to the mainstream television, the broadcast companies. So those independent medias, this podcast is independent media. It's not a news outlet in any sense, but it does. We are talking about what we know and what we understand, and our comprehension and our apprehension and doubts about what's going on in our world, of how we're told what to believe. And we are, this is my responsibility, and what I do is to be able to talk to other people and just have like a real discussion about what is going on our planet. What are we being told? We're being told that there are other people that we should be afraid of, that we should be worrying about, that are people that want to own what we have, and it's creating dissension. It's proposing the idea that we should be patriotic, nationalistic, we should have a religion that we need to believe in, that will protect us, that we need to fight for. Those are concepts that are totally oblivious today.
I agree, actually. I'm no expert in religion. I'm no expert in politics. But from what I see,
you're being told that you're no expert in politics and religion.
Well, I did not study politics. I have my own small, humble vision about it. I'm really not, and I'm glad that I'm not, because I'd rather be a professional in human resources, in
have integrity.
Exactly, have values that I stick to. I really want to have to speak about my values of integrity, honesty, sacrifice, and being true to myself and to people, being a loving person.
Yes.
I think this is what the world needs.
Yes.
Loving people.
Compassion, empathy, being there for others, no matter the religion or any kind of belief.
From what I see, I've lived in Lebanon. I lived in Kuwait for almost 8-9 years. And then I've been here in Quebec for 5 years. People are being very, very selfish. There is no meaning to sacrifice in their lives anymore. And this is what's taking the world to a bad edge.
Yes.
When I don't think about the other, when I don't think about my neighbor, I don't think about my kids. All I think about is my own prestige or myself. I want to live happy. I want to be happy. This pursuit of happiness, you know.
It's very individualistic, self-centered.
Exactly. Yeah. Individual pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
You know, people will not get it because you are not happy when you're alone. You know,
community is important.
Extremely important. You cannot live by yourself. You might need at some times, you know, time for you to reflect on what's important, to prioritize your things. But no, you cannot live by yourself. You need to be loved, and you need to give love to others also. This is my personal opinion. I'm not saying that people should follow what I... But they can try.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Well, community is important. Being on an individualistic quest to make a lot of money and have an amazing house and have 2 cars, that's obsolete now.
Exactly.
We need to go back to those. I don't know about in Canada or the States. I mean, it seems to be the American dream. That's what people want. But that makes no sense. We see it now. We see that the consumeristic ideals, capitalistic ideals, those things don't work anymore.
Apparently, they don't.
And that's sad because, I mean, what I've noticed from my recent research about Lebanon is just that. The government that's in place, no matter what their group or religious beliefs are, there's a capitalistic thing behind them.
Well, they are one bunch.
They're being paid.
You know, we say that this party is against the other party and, you know, we hate each other and we spread hate in the country. But at the end of the day, they are one bunch of people.
Capitalists. Bankers.
And the rest of us, we're just victims.
Yes. And that's everywhere. Yeah, so it's bankers. Behind in Lebanon, it's confessionalism. I've mentioned that, and we've talked about that in a prior podcast. So there's confessionalism. It's the president is Maronite Christian.
Yes.
The prime minister is Sunni, and the House Speaker
is Shia.
So they say that that's their belief, but I mean, they're capitalists, so you have to choose your... I like that idea of confessionalism because it's people coming together and they say, my religion is this, but I want to sit at the table with you. I want to have discussions about politics, and we are in the same boat together, and we will make this country a beautiful country. But right now, that's not the case. These people that say that they have that religion with them, they don't have that religion with them because they chose capitalism. And I keep blasting capitalism or being mean to capitalism, but really my problem is corporate capitalism, where it's not even about the people anymore. It's about the big companies. It's about the banks. It's about me owning a super big car and having a mansion and making money on the backs of the people that are suffering. That's my problem. So capitalism is the format that we have now to function as a society, and it has its pros and cons. But this is a whole other level. I mean, Lebanon is a good example of so many other countries where there's that problem of corporate capitalism. Well,
you've mentioned that Lebanon is a beautiful country, but trust me, not those people are making Lebanon a beautiful country. It is beautiful because we have a beautiful nature, we have good people, and we have generosity. Like you yourself, Eric, if you go to Lebanon and you go visit any village, you will feel welcomed. No matter who you are, no matter in the villages, I'm talking about the villages, you know, no matter who you are, where you come from, before they know your religion, okay, you are welcomed. You will see people giving from their hearts. They will give you things to eat. They will give you a place to stay. They will give you a ride if you need it. You will feel you belong over there. But of course, when they know your religion, they might change their attitude. I'm not sure.
Am I in trouble if I'm agnostic? Like, I was raised as a Catholic, like Christian. I would go to the church when I was a kid, but I think I stopped when I was like 10. And now my belief system is more agnostic. Yes. Like I have mostly like a scientific approach, where I understand that this reality we live in, there is an energy that binds us together, that makes us connected more than just physically. But I don't know the name of that. I don't understand it. We're so small. It's like an ant compared to like a human. Well, ants don't understand us. They think we're gods probably, or maybe some kind of... So that's my point of view. But am I in trouble if am I agnostic? Or?
Yes, I think yes, you would be in trouble because, I respect religions. I
do too. I love spirituality. It's just that religion eventually becomes political.
Well, at the end of the day, with the wrong people preaching about religion, yes, it might take a wrong direction. But I mean, every religion has its beautiful values. Like in Christianity, forgiveness is something, but you have to prepare yourself. It could take you years to be able to forgive someone, like truly forgive someone. In for example, in Shia, sacrifice is a big thing. They are not afraid to die for you. They would die for you. In Sunni, for example, they would also do whatever to protect their houses. So sacrifice is something in Islam. It's not just a word, spoken. It's really demonstrated by many events that have happened in Lebanon.
But is that a political statement for those Muslim faiths or those two?
I don't think so.
Is it written?
Some people might take it this way, because of the wars. I take bits and pieces from every religion, at least the religions I've read so far, and I build my, consensus, and I want to deliver those to my kids so they have a kind of guidelines to follow in their path. I want them to be compassionate towards the others. I don't want them to be selfish people, even though the world around them is selfish. I want them to be the elite. I want them to be different. I want them to know that despite the monotony,
the tone is just like everything's...
it's the same, like the standard way that people live. I want them to know that they are different. And I'm hoping that they could make a difference in this world. I have a special, not a special story, but I have my story. I used to be a person who lives in a box and who thought that everything that in this box is correct and everything around the box is really wrong. Until I went out and I saw the world and I saw that differences are beautiful. I saw that being open to the other can broaden your views, your thinking. Reading books about the others is really something very essential for people to know. The knowledge that you receive from speaking to others, accepting their opinion. People cannot accept others' opinions. It's sad.
It's difficult. I keep thinking, because I'm listening to what you're saying, and it makes so much sense. And I'm trying to figure out, like, how does it happen that someone will actually become radicalized or be stuck in one format of belief and not be open-minded? And it's got to take a lot of suffering to reach that point. It's got to take a lot of conditioning that is based on beliefs that exists because of suffering. I mean, there's so many wars, and especially that region, and especially Lebanon. There's been a lot of pain, and it does cause people to become angry and sad, and those are very intense emotions that will push people towards radical solutions and beliefs and actions and the responsibility, it belongs to a lot of the countries that are from like the European countries, America. There's always been conflicts between, the West and the East, and there's a lot of responsibility for those countries. Or, I mean, it's not even the people. Like me personally,
it's the leaders.
Yeah, it's the leaders. It's the those
leaders.
that push that money, that push those wars, that want to have the resources. Me as an individual, I don't condone that. I don't want those wars. I don't want the gas. Like most people, like a lot of people now, don't want gas. They don't want those dirty energies. They don't want to invade other countries. They don't want proxy wars. They don't want pain to be imposed on people from the Middle East. Or that's not what I want personally. So, and I wasn't there for so many wars in the past. I wasn't alive back then. So me, just by being Canadian or from Montreal, I don't vouch for those wars. I don't want those wars. My government, some things that my government does, I don't agree with. I have a responsibility as a citizen to stand up to that and put out some information out there on the web just to say that I don't agree with it. And I would not vote for my government if it keeps paying for sending military aid to countries that cause wars. I don't agree with that.
Well, but I'm sure we don't agree also. I personally don't agree. But in Lebanon, we live as groups. Okay, I have if you go and check the map of Lebanon by religion,
sure,
you will see how Lebanon is divided between, the regions are shared by Muslims and Christians. Other regions are only Christians. Other ones are only Muslims. If you look at the map, you will see how Lebanon is divided. And then each group is living by themselves. Look at the majority of Christian areas in the middle, and in Jubail and Kisrawan. This is from where I come from. Metin, Betron, and a small piece of the north. Why we don't live together? Why do we have to have a map of divided by religion? Why? I mean, it's not good. I was living in Kisrawan in Adonis precisely, and then I thought that because I was a Christian, everybody else is bad. And this is what I've learned, even in church. I learned that everybody else is bad. Everybody else is not going to heaven. I was only going to heaven because I believe in my religion, because I follow my religion.
I was taught that too. Catholic in school. It said other religions, what happens with them? Well, they're not Catholic, so they're going to hell.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why do we have to live this lie?
It's religion that's politicized. It's been hijacked by socio-political beliefs.
Yes.
It's people that want to make money, and they're just using religion to impose a belief system on other people, and they hijack that religion. They're transforming that religion through politics, through their own.
In 2006, we had a war in Lebanon. Okay, the war happened in the south and in a small part of Beirut called Dahye. Okay, I lived in Kisrawan. I lived in Adonis and Jounieh. I was living as if there was nothing happening in Lebanon. It doesn't concern me.
Because that region was...
It's the Shia. Why should I care? Just as a human being, me living this state, how could you judge me? No, seriously, because I judged myself when I was open to others. I saw the mistake. And now I know my mistake. But do you think others know? No,
because they're conditioned. They're in that format or in that reality. They can't permit themselves to think otherwise, because they would go against the grain. They would be definitely against other people's beliefs. And you got to be a part of the crowd mentality. You need to follow the people around you, or else if you show that you're different, if you become the black sheep, then you're going to be pointed fingers at. You're going to be judged. You're going to be
I am judged.
Kicked out of the group.
I am. I may be kicked out of the group because I married a Muslim. And I proudly actually married a Muslim. And I'm extremely happy that I did this choice. You know, we have different routines. They do things that we don't do. We dress differently. We have extremely different traditions. We dress differently. We look at things differently. Our perspectives are have a very big gap in between, to reach a ground base. So it took us lots of effort, to bring the two families together. So when I was speaking to my husband this morning about this podcast, and I told him that I want to come out with a bottom line. And my bottom line is that we always look at our differences, but we never looked at what we have in common. As a Christian, I always looked at the differences. What made me different from Muslims in Lebanon? What made me different from the Druze of Lebanon? What makes me different than the Jews? But I never thought about what do we have in common? We have lots of things in common, and we start by being human. We all are human beings. We all have a state. We all are on the same boat.
And are we all out for looking for like a quest for knowledge? Is that our quest for everybody? Would that be a good assessment? I'm thinking now, does that make sense? Is everybody out for a quest for knowledge, or is there a limit to knowledge for certain religions?
Yes, of course. Why there are only a group of people who goes and study religion, and they give us what they think about this religion.
Because at some point, like, spirituality is there to inspire and to gain some kind of balance and a psychological balance, so that we can go on with our days and we can go read books and enlighten ourselves and feed our minds with ideas. And so after that, we can contribute to the people around us and our society. I mean, that's the purpose of spirituality. My spirituality, that's how I see it. Like, even if I'm agnostic, I am spiritual. I do have belief systems that I think about that help me shape my psychological brain so that I can... No? You don't agree? Go ahead.
I do. I do agree. Spirituality is a state, I think. As much as you are in peace with yourself, you can spread out this peace to others. For example, my friend, here in Quebec, he always tells me, you love everyone. I think this is a state of spirituality. Don't you agree with me?
Kindness comes from a balance of the brain, of intellectual balance and spiritual balance. I mean, you are able to show compassion to others because you are at peace with your belief system or the way you perceive your existence.
I think, yes. The other day I was speaking to someone, and then we went on talking about religion, and they asked me if I have an issue being a friend with Jews or Hindus or religions that are a bit far from my surroundings. And I told them, when you don't follow a religion, you love everyone.
I think that's a fair assessment. That would be right now I'm thinking, imagine the best party, like a party like respectful of everybody's culture and what they drink or they don't drink. Like, you imagine the kind of party where you would have all these different people from different religion in the same room, and we're just talking and having fun and listening to music. Oh, we're going to listen to your music now, and then your music. Each have a turn, and they talk, and that would be so amazing.
The world will be really a great place if we arrive, if we set on this state.
Yeah. Because we're on the same quest.
Yes.
We're looking.
Everybody is looking
to understand.
Well, speaking about, drinking or not drinking, I'm going to tell you this, brief story. When me and my husband said we will get married, and after, consulting our families, trying to bring them together, telling everyone that it's gonna work out, guys, don't worry about us, okay? We're gonna live together. We're gonna be happy together. We're gonna have a family together. So when everybody said okay, because my husband and I said, if we don't get the blessings of our families, we will not proceed into the marriage until we have this blessing. Like whatever happens, even if we will stay together for 10 years, we will not get married and start a family without the blessing of our families. So they said, okay. And then, you start preparing for the wedding. Okay. Where we're going to do the wedding, we're going to do it at the village of my husband. Okay, cool. Then despite, the opposition from some members of my family, we decided, okay, we're going to do it over there. And then the invitees, how many people are we going to invite? And then my husband's family, because they are in the village, we're going to invite about like 700, 800 person. Oh my goodness. And then parts of my family, oh no, we cannot go to the south. It's too dangerous for us to go to the south. Okay. And then again, some, negotiations here and there. And now the setup of the wedding. Are we going to put alcohol on the tables or no? Okay, that's it. We're not going to do the marriage anymore.
Alcohol.
Alcohol on the table, yes or no? My part, it's a party. No drinking is out of questions. My husband's family, drinking is out of question. So by the end of the day, we went to Cyprus and we got married.
So what happened afterwards?
So we went to Cyprus, me and him by ourselves. Actually, the wedding was supposed to be on 22nd of May. And then when this happened, when this whole charade happened, this whole thing happened between, alcohol, no alcohol. How do we dress? Can we dress a little bit, Can we be liberal or... no, you have to be conservative. You were going to the Shia village and whatever. So we decided to go on to Cyprus. And it was the best day of my life. I felt that I was owning the world. I had the world in my hands on that day. In a matter of fact, all Cyprus had their wedding, participated in my wedding. Oh, wow. I was with him by ourselves. We did not know what civil marriage was. Because we, in Lebanon, religion, we marry religiously, either in a church or with the sheikh or, So we did not know what is a civil marriage. And we did not know that it really speaks out our vows and what we want in a marriage. And this, this sacred...
the bond.
The bond, the sacred bond between a man and a woman. I dressed up and I had my gown, I put a bit of makeup on my face. I did my hair and I had a photographer, whom I send many regards. We're still friends on Facebook. He gave me the most beautiful photos. It was, something new that I've made in Cyprus. I was walking in the streets of Cyprus and people around me were just... Wow, applauding, and they were telling me congratulations. Kids around me, young people around me, people who told me to go inside their shops to take photos over there. I had plenty of gifts along the way, so I had a very modest, wedding, but it was very big to me, and I loved that day. I got married on April 26th. And this is a day that marks my life. And whatever happens in my life, I want to tell my husband that I love him from all of my heart. And sometimes I say I regret that day, but don't believe me. I love you. I love my family. I love my daughters. I love your family. I love your mom, your dad. I love your brothers. He doesn't have any sisters. So I love everyone at your family, and I truly am very grateful for the support that my family gave me. My dad, a great, great, great person, that I cherish, I love, I appreciate. And I feel that I'm very lucky. I'm one of the, luckiest, extremely luckiest people to have my dad, my mom, who said that, listen, I cannot say no to such a person. Go and have your life, be happy in your life, and be a good wife. My sisters, my brother, can I say it in Arabic? يؤبرني. Everybody knows me. When I say my brother George, his name is George, I say يؤبرني. يؤبرني.
What does that mean?
It means bury me.
Bury me?
Yeah. It's like a very popular word that we say when we want to really express our love to someone. We say يؤبرني. I hope everyone follow my steps and just look for values, look for love, and look to be loved.
Those are values that we share different religions, is kindness, empathy, all those beautiful values that represent love, quote unquote, like the socially.
But where does hate come from?
The hate is when we get hurt, when harm is brought on to us. No matter what country, it's always the same reaction. We will feel hurt, and then we will become angry. We will develop these animosities. We will try to make sense of why we were hurt. So we're going to lean on to other people or what they say, and to make sense of what we've hurt, why we've been hurt, and how we feel, and to rationalize why we feel hurt and those painful emotions. And so that's why when we can become prone to radical ideas and fall prey to religious beliefs that will bring about, amplify the anger. I'm trying to make sense of it, but for me, that's my understanding.
I believe that there should be equality. No, not equality, not even equality. Justice.
Justice for women, justice for men, justice for everybody. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I mean, it is obviously women have been considered as second-class citizens in so many countries in so many eras, and I think that it's legitimate that certain women and women across the world will ask to be defended and their rights be respected. I mean, just in Africa, there's certain things that are being done to women in Africa which is totally unacceptable and totally disgusting.
Exactly. That's why I demand justice, not equality. As I was telling you, I believe that justice should be there, but not equality, because I don't want to be equal to a man. I'm better.
That is feminism. What are you talking about?
No,
that is feminism.
I mean,
I don't know. From my understanding of feminism, that sounds like feminism. And if you're better than men, you're proud of being a woman. That's
I am
a legitimate feeling, and you have a right to stand by that belief.
Yes,
I understand it, and I say yes. If you feel that you're better than men, I'm welcoming your point of view, and I'm open to talking about it and understanding why you feel that way. And I will tell you that I do disagree with so many things that are being done to women across the planet, and there's always a way to be better, and communication is important. So.
Well, yes, and this is why we go back to the same point, that I demand justice to women, but I don't call for equality. I am a woman, and I love being a woman, and I love the privilege that comes with being a woman. But yeah, I love the privileges that I have for being a woman. I want, protection, and I personally want this protection from my man. Of course, I want the security in the country where I live, but I want to feel that someone is there caring for me, someone is there to protect me, to protect his kids. I can do that, of course. I know that I can do that, but why should I do it if he can do it? I mean, you are the man of the house, and this is what we say, the man of the house, right? Do you say
well, honestly, in Quebec, the family values the family structure is so different now. Like since the 50s, since the Révolution Tranquille, yes. The religion is out of the picture for the most part. Like there's no more weddings. There's hardly anybody making babies. There are babies being made, but I mean, it's not the
That's
Quebec
why immigrants
culture.
Are here.
That's why Canada is multiculturalism and opening the door to migrants coming to Quebec and to the whole Canadian country. But family values here are different. The ideas have changed drastically since the 50s because we've been so hurt by religion, yes. by social, like the administrative, the way that Quebec was controlled prior to the Révolution Tranquille. It was very under control by religion. And so we've become disillusioned and we're moving away from there. So I totally forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah, like we were talking about, I think, feminism. So let's
stick to feminism.
Yeah.
But I like that topic because men need to have their role. They need to be the man of the house. And I understand that. But it's because our human endeavor is becoming psychologically or intellectually always evolving. So slowly but surely, we're moving away from the primal ideas of humans being animals. And that's the way I see it. You can disagree with me. We can talk about it. I'm not saying that my idea is perfect. I'm saying that initially, there's no electricity. There's no houses necessarily. We're not born in a society where there's police, where there's firemen, where there's a guarantee that you can go outside and you're not going to be devoured by a wolf or a bear. So now we're allowed to have that idea that we can just live and reach a higher intellectual level because our society allows it. But I mean, if tomorrow there's the Yellowstone or a super volcano explode or a meteorite or whatever, the grid goes off and there's no more electricity and we need to go back on the street, then we're going back a few years and we're going to need the stronger people to go on the streets and defend another group. Or in that sense, if we're going to follow what you're saying, is like men need to be the men and women need to go back to a sense of like a communal idea where they are the conveyors of knowledge, where they take care of kids, and men are going to be on the streets and they're going to be fighting. That goes back to like a primal state. Primal is a big word. It's not necessarily primal where nobody's intelligent, but it's just that it will have taken a step back from where we are intellectually and socially right now with like the power grid, the electricity, the food, a functioning economy. And
but if we will continue on the same a path or the same tone, families will be destroyed, kids will grow without values, and it's a danger to the society.
Oh, for sure.
We go back to the main point where we started, selfishness, individualism. Everybody will be living for themselves. Nobody will live for the other. And by then, there will be a very big depression and people will not be happy. Just imagine it, like the thought of it, project it in your mind. Like if we continue like this, where we're going to end up?
You remember those commercials or those photos of the happy American family from the 50s with the apple pie mother with puts the pie on the side of the windowsill.
Beautiful ads, by the way.
It's beautiful ads, but it was propaganda. It was like, you got to adopt that way of functioning. You need to be the man with you come in from work with the suit and tie and hello, darling. It's so ridiculous.
I'm not necessarily, pointing
they were suggesting an individualistic idea where you come home and you're the man of the family and your wife is there to kiss you and take off your shoes and the kids are...
But the women made those men. Women has a very big role in societies, and without women, societies will fall.
True.
Women has the biggest impact that a person can put on society is women. Is a woman. trust me, like.
I agree with you. I find that women are supremely important, and they've been put on the back burner for so long, and told that they were second-class citizens and they didn't have place in politics. They weren't allowed to vote. They weren't allowed to have an opinion. They weren't even in Quebec. They couldn't even have a bank account.
Exactly.
They needed authorization by their husbands or to go to the bank. It's crazy. That was in the 60s. I talked about this on a prior podcast.
Not too long ago.
60s.
The 60s is just like. How many years? Like
I can look it up. It's Claire Casgrain in Quebec in the 60s. She was the one. She was the first.
We celebrate her day. Marie-Claire
Kirkland Casgrain was a minister in Quebec in the 70s and late 60s or 70s. Early 70s, where her job, she brought about a lot of changes in regards to women's equality and freedoms, and just being allowed to go to the bank to get your own bank account. Yeah. So there is an exercise. Women are supremely important, and they have a very important value in society. And I think that if any society is just putting women and as second-class citizens, I don't agree with that. I find that it's supremely important that women have their roles to play. And if it's in politics or if it's in a social or an administrative position, I think that it's there. It's all.
And every woman has the right to choose her path. You know, like me, I decided I chose to be a mother, and I have to pay my dues as a mother. I have to raise good kids. I have to raise my daughters. I have 2 daughters. I have to raise them on good values so they can also make a positive impact on their community. Other women chose to be, business women. They are driving enterprises, like international enterprises. Many other women decided to become inventors. We benefit from those inventions, and we are grateful to their choices. But their role in a society is whatever they choose, they do it perfectly. And this is my call, because nowadays I feel that women who decides or chooses to be mothers, they take this as a second job. While as for me, it's my first job. I am a working mother. I work full-time. But my priority is my kids, is my family. And other working women also, yes, we should have a career, a good career, but we also should raise our kids. We should surround our family with emotions, with love, understanding. We should give them the priority. We should give them their time. They deserve it. And our kids did not ask us to bring them here. Right? They should. Well, we chose to have kids.
Yeah.
We choose to have kids.
Yes.
So let us be fair to them.
Give them the opportunities they need. Give them the education they need.
Everything. We owe them. We owe them time. We owe them how do we say it? We have to raise them.
Yes.
Not just put them on a second phase, a second priority. Yes. We do what we have to do first, and then we see if the kids are what the kids want.
The future generation is what is important.
Yes.
It's our investment. Currently, our investment is to allow for the future generations to have access to education, options, and to be able to grow into compassionate human beings, educated human beings. That's me personally, and I mentioned this in a prior podcast, but my 2 pillars are the safeguard of kids or the future generation, and the safeguard of intellectual, the human intellect.
Yes. Well, look, I was living in Kuwait, I was living a luxurious life in Kuwait. But then when I had my first daughter, I thought about her future, about the opportunities that I can offer her, in Kuwait. And I did not really find a lot. So I decided to come here because I know that the country is welcoming. I know that my kid will live in a secured, environment. And I know that in the future, she will have lots of choices. She will have a very big... lots of doors, she can choose the door she wants. Unlike me, I did not have this. I did not have this chance to choose what I want to study, for example. No, I had very limited choices. So I came here, and it was extremely difficult, to start from scratch once again at the age of, how old am I now? 33.
Okay. When you came to Quebec City, you felt that it was
Yes. I knew back then that it will be difficult, but I did not, imagine it would be that difficult. It was extremely difficult for us to start from zero, but we knew that we are doing this for the kids. And I did it for myself also. I see a new me. I see someone who is really, who have an ambition. When I decided to apply for an immigration to Quebec, to Montreal, the only reason was because I wanted to do my PhD at McGill University. But then, life happens, and then you forget about your dreams. You finish school, you go work, but now I'm a student at McGill. And I'm an A student at McGill, actually. I'm very proud of it. I'm really proud of my achievements. And I did not come here when I came to study. I came here, I made a sacrifice for my kids because I know that they will have a better life here. And I'm really sad to say this. We have beautiful countries over there. Us, Arabs, we are good people. We don't deserve what's happening in our countries. We are generous people. We are loving people. We care about each other's, when we are away from politics and religion.
It has been a long road, from my understanding, for the Arab communities it's been a long road in regards to, like, historically, chronologically, events.
How many
wars? Yes, many wars, but I mean, is it a right assessment for me to say that the involvement of European countries or in that region has opened the door to all these changes that have been undertaken since then, let's say since the First World War? And it has been a long way for the Arab communities to understand this new way of thinking, these new ways of life, these new belief system, and incorporating them in their societies. And is it still that's happening to this day?
I think, yeah.
Where there's an adjustment?
The West has made a big impact, and a great impact on the East, yes. And, they brought their schools, but also they brought discrimination. Some Lebanese people refuse to say that they are Arabs. They say that they are Phoenicians.
Yeah.
So the others are proud Arabs. Others are, we come from Canaan. We are Canaanese. Back to, they date back to, they go back to the history. Well, I speak Arabic, and I'm not ashamed to say I'm Arab, but I refer to Arabs because we live in the Middle East. And the Middle East, when we speak about Middle East here, they speak about the Gulf region also. So they involve the Gulf region with the Middle East. Whereas the Middle East is, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, Iraq. And these are the
center of
the Middle East. We are in the middle of if you look at the map, we are in the middle of the east side of the world.
Okay.
And then the Gulf area are Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Oman, Sultanate of Oman. So these are the Gulf region, and then they get involved with us. And then Arabs are the people who lived in the big desert of Saudi Arabia, So, well, we all speak Arabic in different dialects. We all speak Arabic. I don't mind. I'm Arab. I'm Phoenician. I'm whatever you want to call me. I come from that part of the world. I'm proud of it. And I'm telling the world today through your podcast, Eric, that Arab people are great people. message.
That's a beautiful a message. It's a beautiful statement. I don't even know what to say for that. It's a beautiful statement. I accept your statement. I believe you're right, and there is a responsibility for the countries that brought these new ideas to that region. Let's say almost 100 years ago, in the vicinity of the First World War, and I think that there is an understanding from the cultures in that region of those new ideas, but there's also a responsibility on our side, or I say our side, but I mean Canada, the States, Europe, to understand these cultures as well and invite them.
We have a beautiful culture, actually, and we are,
Did that make sense what I said?
Yes. and actually, I wanted to say, don't be afraid of us. We are not here to ruin the country. We are not here to bring our luggages, we are not here. We are fleeing problems. We want to live in peace, and everybody in the East look at the West and they want to become like them. We see the good parts of the West, and then we say, we want to become like them. We don't want to be judgmental people. We want to respect others. And when we come here, trust me, we start reflecting on ourselves, and then we become aware of how much we are judgmental people and how much we have to change this. And many of us has changed, and we are more, we accept that we live here, that it's different. We have to respect the country's traditions and rules. But unfortunately, I'm not talking about everyone. Not everybody welcomes the Arabs.
But it goes back to the media we were talking when we started this podcast. I mean, media has a responsibility to broadcast information that is true and not just these generalizations of what we should perceive Arabs to be, or the cultures from the Middle East, what we are told to perceive how they are. Just look at the movies from the 80s and 90s. It was always like the evil guy was a Middle Eastern person. There's video. I mentioned this in a podcast before, but there is videos of like, let's say, Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Like, he was always fighting the middle, either a Russian or a Middle Eastern. Like, it was never a guy from Quebec, and that's the media. Media is painting, the propaganda, the states, the elites, the people that have the money. They say I don't know. They're not paying. They're not at the table with Schwarzenegger saying, no, it needs to be an Arab in that film. That's the bad guy, because Pentagon wants to push those weapons. And I mean, I don't think it's that blatant, but socially, that's what happened. And today, I don't know, who is the bad guy in films today?
Well, there is a bad guy everywhere. There is someone bad everywhere.
Yeah, there are bad guys everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere. But let's live in peace. This is a very peaceful country. Well, I'm in love with Montreal.
You are? It's cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
When I go there, I'm so emotional. I'm very emotional. But I love the city. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to live there. Coming here on the road, I saw the beauty.
It's nice here too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's far away from the city, the trees, the farms.
The people, I stopped and I spoke to someone on the road, and I told them, well, I came here to do a podcast, and then they did not understand me, but they were really nice,
Okay. Yeah.
But
what part of Montreal do you like?
Well, I like downtown, of course. I live in Laval.
Oh, okay.
In St. Dorothy.
I'm not familiar with St. Dorothy.
Oh, it's a like
suburb.
It's an old place in Laval. It's to the west.
Oh, okay.
Of Laval, of the island of Laval.
Yep.
And it's so I don't know. I cannot describe
regional?
It. You feel like you can raise your family over there, because it has this atmosphere of family. We have a small, center place where they do activities. They do.
There's parks. It's very family oriented.
Very family. I
great.
love it. Although the houses there has become extremely expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and we don't know. We don't want to go out of this place, but then eventually we have to buy a house, right?
Yes.
And but apparently it's going to be extremely difficult to buy a house over there.
It's really costly in Montreal for sure. The housing. Yeah.
I'm very lucky to be here, and I thank Montrealers, Quebecers. I love I thank Canadians for accepting me and my family over here, and I can't wait to hold this passport and say, I'm a proud Canadian. I feel it. I already feel it. I'm still a permanent resident.
Okay, when is that happening? How does that work?
Oh I have my file on. Well,
okay,
I submitted my file, and then with the COVID, now it's gonna be it's gonna be late, but it's okay. I feel that I'm a real Canadian.
You were greeted in open arms.
Well, yes.
Man, those are values that anybody has in any country. People are inquisitive. They're loving. They're compassionate. They want to learn. They want to know. I don't think it's like by default. People are kind. There is kindness.
Of course, you know, people are born with kindness in them. But then
it's as soon as there's money, politics, beliefs comes into play, it becomes unpleasant. You need to be nationalistic. Patriotism is terrible. I mean, God bless America. God bless America.
Why only America, right?
God, yeah, exactly. God doesn't just bless America. And even then, religion shouldn't be in politics.
Well,
people should be spiritual. They should have spirituality to be balanced human beings, but it shouldn't be like God loves America.
Well, I have many American friends.
Yeah.
And I love them so much. But you know, I don't want them to take this against them, but, you know, God should bless everyone, every country. Yeah. And that's it.
That's a bad slogan. God bless just one country.
One country, you know.
No, I agree with you. It's very strange. It's a strange approach. Do you want to look at the news? What's going on? Should we look?
Do you want?
Because we've been... And this podcast is in no way us neglecting what's going on. It's just that I think this is positive stuff that we're throwing out there. And then we're going to open this window right now and we're going to look at what's going on.
And you see?
That's reality. But this is reality too. Human beings talking and exchanging how they feel and we realize that that's what we want. Am I generalizing? I think that everybody wants peace, like you said.
Yes,
everybody wants their kids to be safe. We want books to be given to everybody so that everybody can learn and read about anything they want and not be judged. I think that's at the core. I mean, yeah.
We've put it in you've summarized everything now. You know?
Damn, we have to finish the podcast then.
No, seriously? What time is it?
We've been talking for about an hour and a half.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And there was so many bugs to start off with. Maybe I wanted to do too much stuff with the maybe Skype and with what happened today is I thought I might try to include that in our conversation, but it's good that we did. We
started with it.
We did.
Do you want to finish with it?
We can. We should. Let's look.
So looking back at what happened today, you see.
Do you want to look on your phone to see if some of your contacts may have written you and told you what exactly is happening? Because we could look at the media MTV from Lebanon and it would tell us a certain information, but perhaps some people have access to more factual information that will actually be telling us exactly what happened. I'm going to open the live feed on YouTube and...
This is something that we have in common. You know, a disaster that happened to everyone.
Yeah, because everybody across the planet is watching that feed or that information and is sad, is feeling concerned for the Lebanese, the people of Beirut that got injured. And I mean, no matter what media says, people are genuinely sad or they worry for other people when other people get hurt. It's not...
Well, yes, this is how it should be, you know. This is how the world should be. So
yeah, we could try to maybe finish on a positive note. Did we go through everything we wanted to talk about? Is there anything else you might want to add, or are there any? Your message is very positive. You've put out a very positive message of everybody being on the same page. That's our wish. Every culture, anybody with a different spiritual background or religious beliefs, we're all in this together. We're all trying to get together and grow intellectually and protect our children for future generations. I think that's a message that goes across the board. From any country, that's the objective, and whatever media is portraying different cultures to be. I mean, at the core, it's like what we have right now. It's like people coming together at the table, and
by the end of the day, we are all human. We seek the same thing, and this is our pursuit. We want to be happy in our lives. We want to live in peace, and to do that and grow. Yeah. And to do that, we really have to be to accept the others. My bottom line again, if we really want this to happen, we have to look at what we have in common and accept our differences, value these differences, because if the color is the world is beautiful by its colors.
Yeah, the thing is, people, they politicize those colors. They use those colors to push ideas and warp people's understanding. And I mean, do we need to, without going into too much details about the geopolitical thing, but there's like different, like Iran is paying for a different religious group, and France is paying for the Maronites, and the Arab Emirates are paying for the Saudi Arabia is paying for
another group.
So much money, so many beliefs, political beliefs that are involved. It's very, there's a lot of friction.
Too many hands.
Yeah.
Too many hands on a small country. Like I said before, the world is beautiful by its colors. You cannot unify the color of the world. This is how I end today.
Marielle's bottom line.
That's it. My bottom line again.
You should do like a video or a podcast and have like every week or a month you have Marielle's bottom line.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That'd be amazing. I'd watch that. That'd be great.
So today's bottom line.
Yeah.
So today's bottom line, ladies and gentlemen.
That'd be amazing.
Look, today's bottom line is, again, look at what we have in common. Don't look at what makes us different. And if you want to look at our differences, look at it from a positive perspective and see it as a way to better communicate with the other, and a way to understand what the other have and what we don't have. You never know. No, you never know. You might like it.
Thank you, Marielle Rifi.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much
for this opportunity.
My pleasure. Let's do this again.
Sure.
We should.
In
a few months or a few 10 episodes, let's say.
Are you taking your studio to Montreal or no?
I'm a little bit secluded. I'm thinking about it. I'm open to ideas, but right now I'm here for the summer. I'll see. I think it would be easier, eh?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to be here for the summer also. It's a beautiful area you have here.
That's amazing. I'm really fortunate. Thank you for people to allow this.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, Marielle, for being on the podcast. Thank you, people, for watching and listening. And so long. Goodbye.
Bye.